one of those very unusual days. Angela has been sick as a dog, you know, the kind of thing that she just can't kick. So at midnight last night she said, "Mom, I'll be there." And I said, "Please don't try to come." Today is the first day I actually feel like a dog. My throat hurts, and we're trying to call Dr. Kent to get me an appointment. I need some antibiotics. I got the swollen glands and all that. I'm never sick, y'all, never sick. But I think it's just what's happening with spring and the drainage and yada, yada. You know, y'all know what happens in spring. So Angela is not with us, but I do have 3 guests that will fill the time. We will do great. I'm going to bring one of the guests on first because he is a media, I guess he's a professor. Yeah, he's a professor. You know, I've never been to college, so I've never had a professor. Maybe he'll give me some advice. But we're going to bring Nick on in just a minute. And we're going to let him spend some time with me because I told Angie, I said, don't try to do it. You've been too sick. And number one, I don't want the girl sitting here that's been sick all night when I'm sitting here fighting a sore throat. And today I didn't shake hands with anybody, no hugs. And y'all know I'm a hugger, but I didn't hug anybody. But I think mine is just the sinus thing, you know, so no big deal. But Dr. Kent, I need to see you at 10 a.m. If you're wondering where Dr. Kent is, she is located just across from L.J. Tire and behind the dollar store. She is available Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Now, everybody wondered where was Dr. Kent and where was she going to locate her business. Now we know. And I hope at 10 a.m. I can walk in there and get me some antibiotics, so we'll see. My doctor's office is closed on Friday. Why does the doctor's office close on Friday? Everybody knows you get sick on the weekend. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to go to our commercials and to Rich Scott's Trading Time. And let me say, if you did not see Talk of the Town last night, you missed the best show ever. Christy Lindstrom and Rich did a great job. I know y'all don't know this, but Rich is a dad-burn Yankee. And when he came down here, I told him, I said, "Son, you got to adjust. You got to quit talking like that because these people just need to know that you're friendly and down to earth." Last night, he and Christy aced it. It was a perfect interview, 1 hour long. You got to know a little bit about Rich Scott. He has won 2 Emmy, good Lord, 2. You know, he's one of the only people in this studio that has, we all have tellies, but he has 2 Emmys. Oh, my Lord. So last night was a great opportunity for y'all to get to know him. I've got one announcement I want to do before I go to the commercials, and we're going to bring Nick on. Palm Sunday is March 28th. At 2 p.m., Harbor Ministries will have their annual Easter celebration with egg hunt and wiener roast. Singing and devotion will begin at 2 o'clock with egg hunt and food to follow at the Bryson residence. Now, for y'all who know Papa Jack and Joyce, they live at 1779 Mandola Road in Epworth, and this is held at their house every single year. Kids, bring your empty basket and hungry parents for an afternoon of fun, food, and fellowship. Adults, bring a child and a happy face. For more information, call Joyce Bryson at 706-492-2115. There you go. And, you know, for Harbor folks, please bring hot dog trimmings, chips, salads, or your favorite dessert. And everybody who's ever been to Harbor knows they got some good food going on there. So there you go. Right now, we are going to take a break, and we'll run call Dr. Kent and see if she can see me at 10 o'clock. Does that make sense? You know, she's just right around the corner. She could come over here, and on the set, she could do that little thing, tongue depressor, and she could look at my throat and let y'all see. It hurts. It hurts. But I'm at work because y'all know I never miss work. 540 shows, and I'm still at work. We will take a break right now and go to our sponsors, to Rich Scott and Trading Time, and then the community calendar. When we come back, you're going to get to meet a media professor. Is he going to intimidate me? Maybe just a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. We'll be right back. Okay, I told you I'm going to be a little bit intimidated, but I have a sore throat, and Angela has now gotten here, but she was feeling really cruddy. I'm feeling really cruddy, so Nick, I'm just going to turn it over to you. I want you to talk about what you do at Young Harris and what kind of media. You're here because our camera guy is taking a course from you, is that right?
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me a little bit about it.
Sure. Well, my name is Dick Bowman. I'm an assistant professor of media studies at Young Harris College. And what I'm down here for today is to talk about really our new program. We, Young Harris up in North Georgia has just started a 4-year program in communication science, communication studies. And that includes degrees in human communication, which would be the study of this interaction right here.
Right.
But the other side of it is
and whether
media.
we are compatible.
That's part of it. We match today.
That's part of it. And people say, if you're doing a talk show and your co-host don't jihad with you, you're in the wrong business. You've got to select your co-host very carefully. Now, I have 3 co-hosts, and you've never met any of them, but I hand-selected those based on what they can throw back at me, because they have to be able to kick me a little bit sometimes, because you have to get that interaction. That's important, isn't it?
Well, I work with Nathan, actually, Nathan Peterson, and some other students at Towns County High School and at Young Harris College on the radio. We do, part of the thing that we do is Young Harris College baseball. And the single toughest part of broadcasting a sport like baseball, which is very slow, is how do you fill that downtime when there's nobody hitting the ball? And it's the communication part. And what we talk about at the college is that I think there's a bias to think that communication is something we're born with, and so we don't really seriously study it because we figure, well, sure you can communicate. What we argue is that there is a psychology behind it and a science to it. It's a skill and it's a science. And so the program, which is very unusual for a private school. This is usually a public school thing. You're going to see journalism programs at University of Georgia. You're not going to see them at Young Harris College, but now we have one. And so we try to focus half of our program on what we just talked about, that person-to-person interaction, that how can I communicate what's in here to you? Right. And then, of course, the other side, when you're on the media, when you're on television, you don't know your audience. They don't know you. And so how does that change the discussion? If we're friends, we can anticipate each other's interactions. But if we are going through the television or the radio or a newspaper, how does the structure change and how do we communicate our message? So the general purpose of the program is just that, is educating students on how to do that efficiently, especially in today's information age, where we have so much information available to us. How do we navigate it, and how do we get our voices heard, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's one-on-many, whether it's many-on-many. And so that's what our faculty is involved in right now, at a very high level of teaching and of research.
Well, you asked me about how did I end up here, the most unlikely story in the world, but the first year I was on the air here, I got the biggest compliment ever. Somebody walked into a little church here in Gilmer County, and 3 ladies were sitting down on the front, or 3rd row back, talking about me, and Cherie said this, and da-da-da-da-da. And one of my friends goes to that church, and she said, oh, do y'all know Cherie? And they said, yeah, she's our best friend. And they said, well, how did you meet her? And they said, oh, we've never met her.
That's right.
And I said, that was awesome. That was awesome, because they brought me into their home and trusted me to tell them what I need to tell them, to be there for them when I need to be there for them. And one of the hardest days in media, I don't know if you're liberal or conservative, I'm very conservative. I asked for prayer about the 4th month I was on the air. I asked for silent prayer because in Kentucky there were some tornadoes that killed about 9 people.
Yes, okay.
And I asked for prayer. And that was the day in media I thought, I will either be killed today or I will be applauded today.
Absolutely, sure.
And when people said, wow, that was awesome that you did that, I knew I had aced it. But I was scared. Are there times in media you wonder what direction do you go, and how do you know it's the right thing for the media?
It's a great question, and we talked about this actually on Tuesday in my class. We talked about the difference between a media bias and then having an opinion, because, and the way we describe it.
Oh, Lord, I'm opinionated. Oh, gosh, here we go. Okay.
And I think it comes down to what the message is supposed to be. So if you're publishing a newspaper article, or you're talking about an event that happened in the world just as a news event, I think you have an obligation to present the facts. It's called information transmission. Let the audience decide where it's going to go, and really to kind of pull yourself out. But in a medium like this, like a talk show, and you mentioned about this well, I call it a parasocial interaction, where someone feels as if they know you, not because they know you, but because for 540 days, they have gotten to know you. It almost becomes a chance where they see you as a friend, and as a result, they expect you to react like one. And so in that aspect...
And I do.
That's right. And so you make that decision. I think in a talk show environment, it's almost expected. If you didn't have opinions, if you didn't have a stance on things, this would be no different than the morning news. And there's a difference between telling the stories that are happening in northern Georgia and telling interpretations of stories to your viewers. And it is a tough line, and I like what you said about, I wanted to tell this prayer on TV. I know immediately that not everybody is going to agree. Do I make that call, and do I not make that call? And it's something that I tell my students, I don't have the answer for you. You have to analyze your audience and decide what is your role. Are you an interlocutor? Are you a mediator? Are you a surveyor? Are you a watcher? and it changes things. So it's funny you brought that up, because I think all and even objective news reporters are faced with this.
Yeah.
You're covering a story that's so heinous that you want to say something, but then you also have this responsibility
Oh, yeah.
to, you know.
See, I could not be news, because if I were news, I'd be fired the first day. Because if I knew that somebody had raped a child and I was reporting the news, my opinion would get into that.
Sure.
Because I am very opinionated. And that's a good thing, bad thing. I couldn't just do the news, because I would, to be honest with you, I'd mess it up, because I am opinionated, and I said I could never be on a jury, because nail them, hang them, do whatever you want to. I'm not a good juror, because I do think that we have let the world get out of control. And I want to say something about something that was on the news last night. Last night, a school bus driver in Hall County was arrested for pornography.
Okay.
Now, he's been driving a bus 20 years. There has never been an incident with a child, but immediately every school bus driver in the world is going to be profiled and looked at and talked about, and well, it's going to be a hard thing.
Sure.
And when the media covered it last night, they were very cautious to say he has not been found guilty.
That's right.
But it looked so bad. But it looks bad for the other 240 Hall County bus drivers who work with him, too.
This is an interesting discussion. Literally on Tuesday, we talked about this very aspect, that it was about can you truly be objective? And what we mentioned, for example, in a situation just like this, and I'll have to read more about this, is that, of course, in the legal system, you're not guilty until you've gone to court and been proven guilty.
Right.
And so as the reporter,
as they're dragging the computers out,
That's
and all
right.
the files and all the, and the FBI and the GBI is going, we nailed him, we've got it,
It's
and
right
you're trying
here.
to be objective.
But exactly, and so I talked to my students, I showed them a story of someone who'd been convicted, arrested for rape, and they had given the person's name and address. And I said, how fair is this to the family? And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, what gets difficult here is that, let's say he is somehow found not guilty. Have you already convicted him in the news? But like you said, it's right there.
It's right there. I'm hanging him, I'm hanging him.
Yeah.
But then it does give a bad, to all school
That's
bus
right.
drivers, or to all teachers. When a teacher is arrested and handcuffed for doing something with one of her students that was way out of line, then all teachers take the heat. Is it because in the media we do convict them before they're tried?
I think it's part of it, because one of the principles from the Society of Professional Journalists is called minimize harm. It's that when you cover a story, you're supposed to be objective, we know this.
Right.
You're supposed to be accountable. You're supposed to make sure you have your facts straight. The famous Dan Rather incident where President Bush was accused of skipping his National Guard duty, only to find out later the memo was fraudulent.
Exactly.
But one of the issues, and those issues we're pretty clear on, and I tell my students, don't lie, check your sources.
Right.
But minimizing harm is an interesting one, because like you mentioned, so I cover this story about this gentleman who has been arrested and charged with possession of child pornography. Who is it harming as a result? Like you mentioned, the school bus drivers, the teachers, the
240 more
administration,
drivers,
the administration, the families. How do you cover the story and tell the facts by minimizing harm without letting the person off the hook? And I think we do, as reporters, tend to have a bias towards conviction. We tend to assume that if a police officer told us this person was arrested, that they were guilty. And it's a tough line to walk, because a lot of times they are. But then, is it our responsibility as reporters? And especially, and we talk about this a lot at the college, because I think part of it being a private school, we have a big emphasis on ethics and morals. And how do you stick to your convictions, but also stick to societal convictions and make sure you're balanced? And going back to your question about a talk show, this becomes a very different environment, because now people are pretending. Cherie, what do you think about this? How should I feel about this? It's a very different environment than I'm reading the daily newspaper. Yeah.
Well, last night on the news, and I've been watching this story for about 6 months, a prison guard was found not guilty in 30 minutes of 4 counts of rape. Now, in the media, everybody assumed he was guilty. Everybody assumed he was guilty. A jury in Macon, Georgia, in 30 minutes found him not guilty. In 30 minutes, it went the defendant's way. I mean, in 30 minutes, I can't decide what to eat for lunch in 30 minutes. Good Lord, give me a break. But this guy walked away, and here were these 4 women, and I believed their story. Was I wrong to believe their story?
That's a difficult call. It's
4 women told the same stories.
What is interesting there is you have to think about where the information came from. First off, of course, we know that there is a system in place, but there are always people in the system. And it's what makes it imperfect. It's a very cold way of thinking about things. But, you know, the jury system assumes X, but if people behave Y, it's going to go that way. That's something that, as reporters, the job now becomes, because I think what's interesting, going back to our discussion about the media convicting somebody, you can follow that story up. So maybe the person was found innocent, or found not guilty, rather. But let's say reporters continually dig around, and they find more stories, and they find more information.
I think the media has and I think that the guys who were reporting on this last night, they were scratching their head going, whoa, whoa, you know, because I think he had been convicted in the media. And then when the jury didn't convict him, it's like...
Surprised everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, that's a catch-22 because sometimes a judge will throw out a case because it was convicted. There's a famous story about a physician in Ohio back in the 60s who was convicted of rape, only to find out later that the judge overturned the conviction because the media headlines were so egregiously biased that there was no way to find a jury. I think in this case, if you do think something happened, it's the reporter's responsibility to continue following the story. That now the story becomes the trial and not the conviction. And then, of course...
In 30 minutes, you know, if I were a juror...
That's an anomaly, 30 minutes, absolutely.
I'd stay out an hour and a half to make it look good. You know, I mean, 30 minutes, literally, I can't decide what to eat for lunch in 30 minutes.
I used to be a legal reporter, actually, in St. Louis. I covered this at the federal courthouse. And I think if I saw a 30-minute conviction...
That has to be a tough job.
It was interesting, going from sports to law. And I did civil law, so corporate law, corporate corruption, corporate deception. And it was interesting because I don't think you always saw the impact of a story until after the fact. You know, when the city of St. Louis sues a corporation for $30 million in back taxes.
Right.
And you think about the recession and how that plays a role. And then sitting in trials and just seeing sort of the underbelly of society in some aspects, and going back to staying impartial and really thinking about how do you step back from that and just watch it for what it is. And it's tough to, because I don't want to tell my students to block out their personal morals and their personal ethics, but at the same time they have to adopt a professional code of ethics if they want to be respected as reporters. You know, the moment you start crossing the line to opinion making is the moment you start making more fans, but it's also the moment that you start losing your credibility as a source for people who don't listen to your viewpoint.
Right.
It's almost like whenever you get into a debate, what ends up happening is both sides polarize. And so you have to have somebody in the world who's in the middle, who can say, well, Cherie, here's what's happening over here, and to this group over here, here's what's happening, and you guys decide. So I think they play off each other. I think you have to have the information management side, but you also have to have the pundits. And I would consider it's like a pundit role. Here's what I think happened.
Well, at Young Harris, you don't have television, you have radio. And I told you about a radio program over in Gainesville, Georgia. It's 5:50 a.m., the Al Gainey Show. Al Gainey is a wonderful Christian conservative, but twice a week he brings on, what does he call her? She's the liberal. Boy, is she the liberal. But anyway, he brings her on 2 days a week to offer both sides of the story. And quite often people will call in and get a little aggravated. And in the media, is it your job to make people really think about stuff and really get active in the conversation?
I think if you want to do it differently, yes. There's a difference between getting people riled up for the sake of riling up the shock jocks. You know, that's an entertainment role.
Now, I'm going on record right here. Hate that stuff. And I'm not supposed to say the word hate because my mama says you never say hate. I'm sorry, I do not like the shock jock junk. I don't like that. I like the conservative stuff. I like the facts. I like, I don't like that shock jock stuff.
And I think what he's doing is interesting in the sense that you want to challenge your audience. Just because they agree with you doesn't mean you're always right.
Right.
And I think it's important. I mean, the whole educational focus of our college is to integrate people with viewpoints that aren't theirs. You know, we are a Methodist college, but certainly we have every namesake and creed of religion you can think of on campus, and we want them to encounter each other. So a gentleman like himself who brings on someone who's, you know, to the extent he's not bringing her on just to knock her down, if he's actually having a conversation with her,
Yeah, he does.
that's wonderful.
He talks to her, and they really get it going.
And they should, and sometimes she'll win, sometimes he'll win, but his very conservative audience base should be exposed to another viewpoint, because otherwise what happens is you dig in your roots, you start focusing on the small part of the message. You know, in class we talk about the biggest way to find media bias is to expect it. And what I mean by that is once you think you're conservative, everything else is liberal. And once you think you're liberal, everything else is conservative. And so it is your job to, if you think Fox News is too conservative and you're a liberal, you should watch it. You should develop an opinion and compare the two.
Right.
You shouldn't just tune into one person's show.
Right.
It's hard to convince folks to do that, of course. So I like how he takes responsibility and says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring on somebody who my audience is not going to agree with. And I want them to seriously consider the debate. Because if nothing else, it gives him credibility. It gives him a standing point. If he wins the argument, he actually has accomplished something.
Right.
And if she comes on, they might think of things differently. So your question about is it his responsibility, I think the media is tricky because you can do what you want as long as you have advertisers, right?
Right.
But I like what he's trying, especially in an area that would be considered very conservative, to say, look, there is other viewpoints, let's talk about them.
Well, he has listeners from North Georgia to McDonough, Georgia, so he has a base of about 5 million listeners. Out of those 5 million, not everybody's going to agree on anything.
That's right.
And Al is very, very conservative, but he's also very fair. And this lady is an attorney. You know, she's a liberal attorney, and he brings her on, and I wish I could remember her name, but anyway, she comes on twice a week. And she really lets him have it sometimes, whether it be, she's come on and talked about the abortion rights, you know, she's come on and talked about everything. And she can nail it sometimes. And I've listened to it and thinking, wow, you know, she's really giving him a run for his money. But the audience needs that.
Absolutely, and I bet you outside the studio they have a pretty good relationship.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And you both learn each other's side. And it's something that we talk to our students about. Our primary focus, of course, is print journalism. We're working in radio with 95.1 WACF.
Where is that located?
That is in Young Harris.
Okay.
It's literally, you can walk to it from the campus. It's a couple blocks. In fact, we're right in the middle of getting one of their longtime staff members, John Lauer, Georgia Broadcasting Hall of Fame, former president of the Georgia Broadcasting Association. We're trying to bring him on campus in the coming year or two to teach a broadcasting course. In the meantime, the AM dial, 770 WYHD AM, the radio station is giving that to the students to broadcast on. So we've got students doing broadcast radio for baseball. They're doing their own morning shows now. We're trying to get them doing afternoon and music shows. And we're slowly working that in. Our big focus is the print side, is the newspaper and magazines and PR, that type of area. We're building a new campus newspaper that's going to be a weekly model, so it'll come out every week. We're starting a news bureau where anybody in the world could pick up a Young Harris College story, just like Associated Press. Now, I know the market for Young Harris College campus news may not be global, but we want to take advantage of that globalization and get these students interested in getting their headlines out to other college newspapers. So our big focus is traditional journalism, traditional media, with a new media bent, the online broadcasting, the online reporting, the online websites. But also, I think the key word for Young Harris College communication studies students is portfolio. They graduate with something to show their employers. You know, folks like Nathan who are already working the camera, who are already on the air as a freshman. People like, I have 2 freshmen doing baseball right now. I've got a sophomore editor-in-chief of the newspaper. We've got 4 students doing outreach. They're doing public relations for the local food pantry. That's nice because we get into the community, we break down that town versus gown mentality, and we give them a service to add value to the organization. So we really, some people look at the set place and go, oh, it's too small to get anything big going. And as we talked before on the air,
Hey, worldwide, the internet
it's
takes
easy.
media to a whole new level.
That's absolutely right. And it's being small is not a barrier to, if anything, I've argued, I came here for this very reason, to start the program. And to this point, I've realized that we've got so much growth possibility. We're not shunted. There's no ceiling. It's not like if we're in Atlanta where there's too many media already, or if we're in Athens where there's already too many media. We're in Young Harris. We have a chance to cover all of North Georgia and fill a very legitimate hole in the coverage. So. And our students are doing just that starting in the fall. And not even to mention, of course, the human communication side. The folks that teach us how to talk to each other better and do it properly. We've got a wonderful professor, our department chair, Julie Goldsmith, does what's called palliative care, which is death and dying. How do you talk to someone who's terminally ill? You think about Towns County, when 30% of our population is over the age of 65. She does her research on this. She goes to the local hospitals and clinics and talks to, you know, how do you talk to somebody who's passing? I think too many often doctors tend to write them off. It's, well, they're gone, so here's your pills. And let's call it a day. And of course, death and dying is not limited to being elderly. It's anybody who's terminal. And so we've got a lot of different health communication, intercultural communication, media, real media skills, law and policy. And then, of course, I do psychology research. How this message right here, this broadcast, you know, you talked about your friends in church or your television friends and how they're like, oh, Miss Cherie's our friend. I study why they feel that way, the psychology behind watching this morning show and somehow developing a relationship. And those 5 things really establish a solid Department of Communication Studies that I think any one of them you'll find at a big college, but to find all 5 of them, to find them at a small school, and to have faculty who spend all of their time on campus, it's fun. Not to mention, if you've been up to the Young Harris, it's the most gorgeous country.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we're going to take a break right now and go to the obits, and Angela is coming on after the obits, which is very proper since she's been feeling like death warmed over all week. So we're going to bring her on, and we're going to bring a young man who went to school here. I wore purple today in honor of him. His name's Kyle Davis, and I've known him since he was about this big, like 3 years old, and actually knew him during the clogging years of his life, knew him during the time he was the ring bearer in one of my children's weddings. Known him a long, long time, and we're going to look at what happens to a kid who goes to school in Gilmer County and then moves on with his life. We'll meet Kyle in just a minute. Well, we are going to give, you made it.
Yes.
I don't see how you did, because you were one sick puppy yesterday. Yes.
Don't eat anything that's bad.
You had food poisoning?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just didn't know, but anyway. It's the worst sick. It's worse than
It was bad.
a lot of stuff.
Well, you have had a few minutes to sit over there and talk to Kyle. Now, we've known you since you were 3 years old. Had no idea when you were a 3-year-old cute kid with that blonde hair that you would turn out to be. You're really smart, and you give credit to Gilmer County High School.
I do. I try my best to give all the credit I can to where I came from.
You do, you do. Now let's talk a little bit about, you started with your education in North Carolina?
Yep, Mars Hill College in Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay, did you get a scholarship there?
Yeah, I played football. Got a football scholarship, played 4 years up there.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough to get a football scholarship, which is hard enough anywhere in the world, you know.
Right.
But I also got academic scholarships to help with it, so it was kind of a dual.
So
dual
you're
threat.
your mother's child, not your father's. You just nailed that one.
Yeah.
Because I've known your daddy a long time too. Actually, your daddy worked for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'd have to sound a pretty even mix. You never know where it's gonna come from.
You are going to be a physical education teacher?
Yes, I already have my physical education degree already, and I'm working on my master's in exercise science just to open up my doors a little bit to be in the exercise field anywhere I want to go in the exercise field, or just, you know, up my pay as a teacher.
I was starting to say, I think
fine.
it's about 10,000
Yeah.
more if you have your master's.
Yeah, and I really, when I got done with Mars Hill, I did real well. I was lucky enough. I graduated second in my class up there. And,
Why didn't you graduate first, Kyle?
I was a little upset about it because, and oddly enough, they didn't tell me anything about it. I was, you know, they don't tell you your order. I just got my honors stuff, and you know, I was proud of that, and I had all these nice sashes, and then I got an email saying, congratulations, you were number 2 in the class. First thing I thought was,
Who was number one?
Yeah. Yeah, why was I not number 1? Why did I not know about this? You know?
No wonder his mom is so proud of him.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
You have accomplished
You should have got her on here to
lot.
talk. She could have talked for hours. She'd had to do a daytime
We have to
show.
do a 3-hour
Yeah.
show, yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about your family is a lot of the reason you are so successful.
Yes.
They were excellent parents.
Yes.
And I know you and your mom did clogging together, and she actually taught my daughter Dawn to clog. She didn't teach, can you clog?
No.
No. You have to have that rhythm, and Dawn has
Yes.
that rhythm. Your mom taught her. Now let's talk about what your relationship with your parents meant to you as you were growing up.
Oh, everything. I'm an only child. So when it was time to go out to play, Mom or Dad went out and played with me. You know, I didn't have a ton of friends always around when I was there. When I got older, I always had a bunch of friends over, but Mom was always there. You know, Dad, he was gone a lot, but he was always right there. I had to
And we have to say he wasn't gone because he was sorry he was gone because
he was
a truck
gone. He was
driver.
working. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a great reason to be
Yeah.
gone, but he
Yeah.
was. I mean, they've both always been there so much, too much sometimes. Lord help.
Yeah.
I do remember when your dad worked for us, your mom was very devoted to you.
Yes.
And
And
I
still
always
is.
loved
Yeah.
that.
She's
Yeah.
sitting right over here today. I mean,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
followed me to the end of the world. And
Yeah.
even, you know, right now I'm teaching classes at Georgia Southern. I'm a teacher and try to uphold this you know, I don't know what you call that. It's just gusto of being a teacher. I still have to call Mom during class, and she'll call me, Mom, I'm teaching class. I can't talk. You know, I'm in the middle of class, and they all, you know, all these college kids that think they're all cool,
All
you know, and
that, yeah.
all. I'm like, well, that's my mom. Sorry, you know, I can't.
Yeah.
What can I do about it? You know,
That's so
she's
But
still-
they just don't know to appreciate what you have.
right. Yeah,
Because perhaps maybe they don't have a great family life.
exactly. And a
you
lot
know?
of people don't understand that because at Mars Hill, I mean, that's 2.5 hours away. I came home every weekend. Every time I get a chance, I came home. And everybody's like, man, why don't you stay up here? We can party and have a good time. And I was like, no, I really like being at home. I get fed well, get taken care of, you know, so nice bed to sleep in. So I still come home every weekend.
Now, y'all live in Cherry Log?
Yep.
Yep. Live in the same place you've always lived?
All my life, yeah. I moved.
Yeah?
I switched bedrooms one time. That's about as far as far as I ever made it switching. So,
And what about your grandfather? Did your grandfather influence you at all, your mom's dad?
yes, a lot. Well, in his own ways, I feel like he influenced me just to have fun. I had more fun with him than anybody. Him and my dad had a real close relationship, and now it's kind of my dad and me have that relationship. We go out and get in all kinds of good-for-nothing trouble, and just have a great time riding around, you know, eating boiled peanuts. It really doesn't matter, you know. But he really loved music, loved, you know, everything about it, and got into clogging and stuff, and I always did that, but he always wanted me to play the banjo.
And now I understand you can do that?
Yes, he's
Yay.
a huge reason why I play the banjo, because he acquired one somehow, and I was 3 or 4 or 5 years old, and they wanted me to play it, but it was as tall as I was, so I couldn't play it, you know, and it kind of got traded around, you know, and I wish I had it now, but, you know, he's a lot of the reason, because he wanted me to play, I wanted to play the drums. God knows why I wanted to play the drums, but
To drive your mom crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
Can you play the drums?
yeah, I still have a drum set at home.
Yeah.
I can disturb all the Cherry Log all at one time, most of the time.
Now, how did you learn to play the banjo? Did you teach yourself?
I just taught myself. Yeah, I was between my grandpa and my dad's brother, David Davis. He played the banjo, and he died when I was real young. And Dad's always had great stories about him playing the banjo. And I thought, well, I'm going to college. My favorite things in the whole world: playing football, lifting weights. You know, I've done great at both of them. Get to college, it's a job, full time, 100% all day long. Lifting weights, playing football, going to bed, going to class. So I was like, I need a hobby. I need something to do. So I was like, why not play the banjo? They laughed at me. Mom and Dad thought I was going to not be able to do anything. Next thing you know, I've got a banjo, and now I've got a group, and I'm playing around. And
Where do y'all play?
well, we've just got started here in the last couple months, and we're called Flatline. And it's me and a couple guys from down around Jasper, ball ground that way. And we're trying to get anywhere we can play right now. Just trying to get somebody to want to listen to us, really.
Well, we need to book you on the show.
Well, hey,
Now,
we'll be glad to come.
what kind of music do you do?
We did bluegrass.
Total bluegrass?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're pretty much just traditional, hard driving bluegrass. You know, that's what we all. Me
Who
and
are some of the guys in your group?
the guitar player from Mineral Bluff, Georgia. I'm sure you saw him singing on here. Brad Kaler. He has a singer from the Kaler family.
Yes.
Wonderful singer. We lucked up and got him to come with us. Dobro player, Josh Hollifield from Ball Ground, Georgia. Him and the bass player with us, Adam McFarland, is usually my guitar player. I don't go anywhere without a guitar player, you know. But he, great rhythm guitar player, playing the bass for us. And me and Josh and Adam kind of, you know, thought about it, got it all together. Then we talked to Brad. He wanted to come. And then we have the next edition, Jeff Haynes. He's from over around Cumming, Georgia. And didn't really know him. He came and started singing. We just fell in love with singing. Next thing you know, he's with us. And now, our newest edition, I'm sure everybody knows who this is, Raven Welch,
Oh, yeah.
the Raven Welch Band.
Oh, yeah.
She's playing the mandolin and singing for us. So
That's awesome.
between the instrumental part and now that we have the singing, I mean, we got it figured out pretty good. We're trying to get it figured out pretty good. You know, we haven't been playing that long together, but we're getting there.
What if folks want to book you? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, as of right now, you just call me on my cell phone,
What's your number?
706-889-2676.
Okay.
Call me. We'll do, I mean, right now we'll do anything. You know, we want people to hear us. We love playing music. I've been playing for about 3-4 years now. And I just really, I mean, it's a great hobby. I would have probably grabbed a hold of somebody if I didn't have my banjo. It's kept me so calm and stress-free throughout college and everything that goes on with just life. You know, the banjo has kept me grounded. So now we got together and we're, you know, we're doing well with it, having a good time. But you know, we just want people to hear us. So,
Let's talk a little bit about your master's. When will you finish that?
well, if I ever do, it's
Not if I ever do,
no,
when I do.
I started this past fall, and I'm working as a graduate assistant, teaching classes down there, and I'll finish hopefully next spring.
Okay.
A full 2-year program, and it's usually a year and a half program, but with the teaching, I'll do a thesis next spring, so it'll be a full 2-year program.
Will you come back here to teach?
I want to come back north because I'm sure we have some Georgia Southern alum out there. I love Georgia Southern. I hate South Georgia.
I agree
Like you
with
said,
you.
like you said, there's not many things you can hate in life, but South Georgia's one of them.
Yeah.
And it's just hot and flat.
Oh, it's hot and mosquitoes to
gosh.
beat 90.
How long does it take you to get there? Drive?
About 4 hours.
That's not bad. That's
Yeah.
like when Tori was at Savannah.
Right, and luckily enough, when I was at Mars Hill, I couldn't have a job, played football all the time. Now I'm lucky enough to teach, get paid, so I can afford to go back and forth.
Right.
You know, so I come home every weekend and we, you know, like we have a show tomorrow night at Tate School. I'll advertise a little bit.
Absolutely.
And it's a benefit for a clogging team. And I'm really not sure exactly what they're
What
called.
time does it start?
I believe it starts at 6 o'clock at the Tate School.
Tate Gym.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I come home every weekend and play the banjo somewhere with my group or just play at the house, you know. But luckily enough, 4 hours is not terrible. And I can afford to come back and forth, you know, without breaking the bank.
Right.
So,
That's right.
But I'll finish my master's in next spring. And who knows where I'll go from there. I have these big, huge ambitions to get my doctoral degree. I work for Dr. Mark Stallings up in Blairsville a lot in the summertime, helping him out with stuff. And I told him that I wanted to get my master's degree so I could hire some dumb football player to come mow my grass. Or get my doctoral degree so I could get somebody to come mow my grass for me, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that, but we'll have to see how it goes as of right now. But
Well, you're one together young man.
Well, thank you.
Seriously together.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah. And your mom and dad have a lot to be proud of.
Well, thank you.
Have a lot to be proud of.
I try my best. You can give them all the credit. They showed me the way. I just happened to be so pretty as I am, you know, and do it all by you know.
That's right. Give your phone number one more time
It
for
is
people who are not.
it's 706-889-2676.
Do you have a Facebook?
I do. Flatline. I have a Facebook. Kyle Davis has a Facebook, and Flatline has a Facebook. Find us on there. You can find us on MySpace. You can also type in Flatline and my name on YouTube, and we have 15 videos up so far, and we're just trying to get it off the ground, really. I mean, because it's so much fun, and the best thing in the world is when people want to hear you do something. You know, want to hear you play.
That's right.
And we've been lucky. You know, I've been lucky enough in the past to go to places like nursing homes and senior centers, and they just love it. You know,
Right.
and people just
Oh,
really
yeah.
enjoy it. And you know, and I just want to play for everybody to hear me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
That's awesome.
Well, we'll have to get his Facebook account on North Georgia Now Today
That's right.
so we can
hook
up that way.
You need to go to North GA Now Today on Facebook and become one of our friends.
I sure
So
will.
there you go.
Yeah.
Sure will.
Right now we're going to take a break and we're going to go to the weather. And then when we come back, you said, gosh, that's Junior Sample's son over there.
Yeah.
Yay! BR 549 is in the house, and we have some footage from Hee Haw I think folks are going to enjoy. Today is one of those days. I brought in folks that I thought would be interesting, and I thought I would like, and I hope y'all like it too. One of my favorite kids. Good
Thank you.
job.
Glad
Good
to be
job.
here.
We'll be right back.
Archie, I'm dog tired today.
Well, that don't surprise me none. All you've done since you got up this morning is growl.
I'm complaining to the National Association for the Advancement of Canine People.
Here's old Cousin Ern and the whole gang.
Some bright morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away in the morning to a land on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll
office. What does he sell? Well, he sells cosmetics for ladies and gents.
Cosmetics for men? I mean, what would they use?
He says he has a men's perfume that is guaranteed to get the girls. He says it smells like money.
For every man teaching his son how to save money, there's women that's teaching her daughter how to spend it.
We want to salute to my hometown, Mount Airy, North Carolina. Population 7,325.
Okay, here we go. We just saw a little clip of Hee Haw, compliments of Emory Samples. Now, after you were on the show the last time, we got a lot of positive feedback and folks just loved you. Does that mean that Hee Haw needs to come back on there and call Emory Samples to take Junior's place?
You got it.
You got it.
That sounds
you got
right to
it.
me.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And I can be your manager. Now, this is your dad.
Yeah.
This is your dad, and this is his storybook. And I want to ask you about something, because when I was at y'all's house and I looked at this book, there's a misspelled word in it. Do you think Daddy intentionally misspelled the words, or did he just... He said, if anybody would like to write to me and it's misspelled, I'll see to it that all letters are answered. I ain't much good at writing myself, but my wife Grace and the children and my personal manager will read them to me and write back to you as soon as possible. Here's where to write to me. Junior Samples, P.O. Box 66, Cumming, Georgia. How much mail did Junior Samples get? Did he get a lot of mail?
Oh, yeah, he sure did. Oh, it was, yeah. It was
Did it
lots
tickle
of
him to
mail.
death?
Well, yeah, I guess it did. I mean, I imagine it would anybody, you know, to get a lot of mail and stuff like that. Yeah, he got lots.
And who'd have thought of that? Who'd have thought of that? Now, this is your dad with a jug and a still. Is that something you have childhood memories of?
Oh, I can remember very well going to the stills.
And is this your mom?
That's her.
Okay, we want to show this. Everybody knows what Junior looks like, but not many folks know what Miss Grace looks like. Now, Miss Grace is the lady who put up with Junior Samples for how many years?
Yeah, all of her life till he died.
And he died at a very young 50-something, didn't he?
Yeah, 56, 57 years.
Now, this book was in print when? How many years ago?
Oh, Lord, I wouldn't have no idea.
20 years or more?
Oh, yeah, or more,
Yeah. Okay, A Moonshine Message, Proper Shine for Proper Situations by Junior Samples. Lots of folks ain't knowing that moonshine is brewed in a bunch of different kinds, and each one affects you like different like. And if it just won't do, if you go and get them all mixed up, reasons that you ought to know about the kinda that you most likely run into the case a few snorts is forced on you sometime, because getting hold of the wrong liquor at the time it weren't supposed to be drunk might land a feller in a whole heap of trouble and cause sorts of miseries. You ain't been in no shine, have you? You've been sicker than a dog for a week.
No.
I never seen it.
I would love to have a copy of that book.
Are there any of these books
Can
available?
you find them anywhere?
I don't think so, but a real good friend of mine was a deacon in a little church where I pastored. He carried that book and made him a copy of it. Somehow or another. I don't know how he did it, but he did.
Well,
It's hilarious.
There's some jokes in there and some stuff that you know is not so, but a lot of that stuff is real.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, this shows Junior Samples with the fish that got him the job, basically on Hee Haw, and it started as a fluke. He just made up this story. He didn't catch the fish, but it landed him a job that probably made your family a pretty good living, didn't it?
Yeah, he done real good.
Ange, can you hold that picture up?
Fished all his life out of old wooden fish boat, and he had 3 bass boats when he died.
Isn't
So that
something?
was he loved it. He loved fishing.
Now, this is a photo of the Hee Haw crew. How many of those people did you actually get to meet? Did you get to meet
Almost
most of them?
all of them, I guess. Yeah, I met lots of them.
Wasn't that too cool?
Yeah, it was for an old country boy.
Now, Ange was talking about your dad got to go to eat dinner with Elvis.
Oh yeah, he's been in his home several times.
And Johnny Cash.
My gosh.
Oh, yeah.
That is amazing.
That is
Mother has
amazing.
too. Mother went to Elvis's home.
Oh, wow. Was your dad a fan of Elvis's, or was Elvis a fan of your dad?
Well, they just met, I guess, you know, during show business or something. I guess most everybody loved Elvis Presley. I mean, I did. I liked
Angela,
his
what did
movies
I
and
do when
stuff.
Elvis died?
I thought somebody in the family died because she
Oh,
cried
yes.
so bad.
Oh, I had a friend.
You couldn't even talk to her.
My friend couldn't work for a month. I mean, he
Hello.
He couldn't do nothing.
She came in that day and was just sobbing so hard. It was like you couldn't even get words out of her for 2 days. It was just, he died.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, who?
Yeah.
I was little, you know, who died? Are we going to see him?
No.
Well, I thought my friend, you know, how silly. I mean, didn't even know him. Except just
Oh
seen him
my
on
gosh.
TV, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was terrible.
But I see people faint and everything else, you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
They just, well, just take Daddy, old country boy, they just touch him and they just almost faint, you know.
Isn't that
It just tires
something?
people up, and it never did bother me.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, not my daddy, but nobody else.
Yeah.
Loretta Lynn, nobody else. It didn't bother
Now,
me.
Loretta, I might faint.
Oh,
Now,
I love her now, but
let's talk a little bit about the trip y'all made to California when your dad was on This Is Your Life.
yeah.
Talk a little bit about what it was like for that country boy to go to L.A. and to end up out there, because Hollywood's a whole different world, isn't it?
It sure is. It was, and I imagine it's even more different now. Oh, that was really something. My daddy's manager, Paul Gibson, got that up, the show fixed. See, they did some filming in California for Hee Haw too. Most of it in Nashville, but they did some in California.
Is that because Buck Owens was from Bakersfield?
Well, I don't know why. I think that there's certain shots they did there, you know. But no, Buck he come out to Nashville and did his part too. But they went out there for some reason. But anyway, Daddy was going out there supposed to have promoted Hee Haw or something, some kind of sponsor thing, and he didn't know he was going to be on This Is Your Life, and that was a Ralph Edwards show. And I doubt any of y'all probably even seen that because it's been a lot of years ago. And it was three of me and my wife. We just had a couple of little boys, and we carried them with us. And I think Lee was a baby, and we carried Lamar and Larry with us. And Lee was just a few weeks old. Mother wouldn't fly at all. There was no way to get her in a plane. So we drove Daddy's car. I didn't have a
3
car.
days
Yeah, 3 days and nights.
with 2 little boys.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mama.
And I got almost in California and stopped and tried to get some Atlanta Dairy milk. They didn't have none. I mean, what was I going to do? My baby needed Atlanta Dairy milk.
That is
But I didn't know no better. I didn't know you could replace it with something else, you know.
That's funny.
But we rode around. We rode around following Paul through town when we got into California. We rode around and around. And my mother said, "Hadn't we passed this place 3 or 4 times?" I said,
Yeah.
I believe we'll have, Mom. And directly we paid attention, there we was again. She said, "Let me out. Y'all find a room, you can come out and get me." Because we had sat there in that car and rode and rode and rode and
Oh,
rode.
gosh.
We stopped one time on the way and slept about 2 hours. And,
Oh,
and
my
got up and pulled
goodness.
back out again. And we was all
Goodness.
wrapped.
Now, did your mom ever fly?
She flew back with Daddy.
Did she? After 3 days in the car with 2 squalling kids,
Yeah,
yeah, I'd fly back with Daddy, wouldn't you?
Yes.
But now, it would, I wished it, my very favorite show that I've ever watched in my life is This Is Your Life with my daddy on it. He had
Did
where
your
he
mom
worked
find the copy of it?
I believe she called Sue yesterday and said she found a copy and we're going to try to get it put on
Okay.
put on one
So
of the
next time we'll have
record
that.
things. And they wouldn't let nobody see it for a long time, you know, because they didn't know they might show it again and you know all the
Right,
law.
the
and
copyright,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was my very favorite show, and it showed where Daddy was sawmilling and the one he worked for, which was his first cousin, and they've died now too. But it showed all that, and Daddy's mother was out there, and then Mama, and he called Daddy had called the house hunting Mama while he was in California, and he didn't know Mama was on her way out there. See, this is a surprise show. It's a life story, is what it is. And boy, he's tearing California up. I mean, they done had the law called out there 4 or 5 times. He, he was having a fit.
Because he couldn't
couldn't
find
find
your mama.
Grace.
Yeah, couldn't find her. He called the law at home and sent them to his house and said, "My wife Summers and I want to know where she's at."
Oh, my goodness.
So they finally had to tell him that Mama was on her way up there. I mean, they had to. But he didn't see her and nothing until the show. And just the big old country boy just lost it.
Yeah.
You know, when Mama showed up. You know.
Wow. Wow.
But it was real. It's real touching. I mean, you know, I still can't watch it without crying.
Oh, that is
It's
so
just it's a
cool.
good show. Yeah.
Well, next time we do hope to have that for folks to see because they'll see a whole different light of Junior. He
Yeah,
was funny. Now, you and I talked a little bit about trigonometry.
Yeah.
When they had to
Yeah.
redo that, did you see, no, you said you don't get hee-haw. The other night, he was doing that, they had to do so many retakes because he couldn't say the word trigonometry. That was so funny.
Oh, yeah, it really was.
That was so funny. Now, how many memories do you have of things that your daddy just, he broke them up in the studio because they just loved him?
Oh, yeah. They, I believe I told you last time I was here, I don't really remember. He had one suit, as far as I know, that he ever had in his life, and to disguise himself with, sort of, you know, and people just, they just go mad to just get touchy, and he couldn't eat. You know, some of these jokes he told, let me tell you, kind of remind you of one. He was flying, and this little old gas truck was come out and gas him up. The Texaco station would, you know, and gas up the plane. And him and his manager had flew to California or summers, and Daddy looked at his watch and said, you know, we hadn't made real bad times. Said, we've done pretty good. His manager did, and Daddy looked and said, yeah, said that little red truck, you know, hadn't done bad either. He got our fuel up again. Just like that truck and followed him, you know, some guy. So he come up with some stuff that just checked his ass. And he told a stewardess one time, he said he started laughing when he uncovered his plate on the plane. Said he looked at the stewardess and started laughing. She said, what are you laughing at now? He said, I just thought that the chicken that laid the hen that hatched this egg had ever known it to flew this high, had done some tall cackling. Said she just dropped the plate out of her hand. I mean, you know, he just come up with stuff to, right off the bat, just tickle you to death.
Now, he died at 50 what?
Daddy was 57.
57 years old.
And, you know, he was an old man to me. Somebody asked me one time, I was driving a tractor and trailer. Of course, I was probably 27 probably at the time. They asked me how old my daddy was, and I said 35. You know, of course, that's about how much I thought it was, so it dawned on me several days later than that. I said, I bet that man thought I was a nut.
Have you ever thought of doing a special about your daddy? Have you ever had an idea to bring together some of the hee-haws and to have family members talk about him and the memories of your dad?
No, I had never even thought about it. No.
I think
That
it would be
would be a
really
great
cool.
show.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool. You could do like an hour special because so many people relate to your daddy. Your daddy put Georgia on the map, for goodness sake. You know, nobody knew where Cumming, Georgia was. Nobody had a clue where Cumming, Georgia was, and your daddy put it on the map.
Now, Daddy told me one time he knowed, this would be hard to believe today, but he said he knowed everybody in Forsyth County.
Oh, yeah.
He knew them all.
Yeah.
Nobody lived there he didn't know about.
Not today, he
No,
wouldn't.
no, you don't know your neighbors today.
No,
you know.
no. And we have to say, when we left your house the other day, you're not far from 400, and you talk about traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness
Be this
gracious.
highway in the world, I guess.
Oh, man. Lots of folks have moved into that area.
Yep, I sure
Now,
have.
how old is your mom?
82.
In good health?
For 82?
Yeah.
She
She still live
walked.
alone?
Yeah. Well, she got a grandson that's staying with her now. But she walked, Mama walked every day, about 3 to 4 miles every day, and a dog tripped her up and she fell. And this has been a year, I guess, and she hadn't plumb got over all that yet.
Really?
She hadn't never been the same. But she's still doing good. Doing good.
Good. What did she think about Junior Samples leaving Forsyth County, leaving running a still, leaving running a sawmill, and becoming a national name? Was she okay with that?
Yeah, well, I think it just happened so fast and nothing planned out and everything. It just happened overnight, and I don't know if she even had time to think or not. You know, it just one morning just woke up and it happened. You know?
Right. Now, who contacted him? Who was the initial person who contacted him and said, "We'd like for you to test for a television show"?
You know, I knew more strokes and things I had. I can't remember stuff, but I knew the name, Landlord Productions.
Okay. I
knew that man's name, but I can't think of it right now. I probably wouldn't think of it all day long. But they just happened to hear it on the radio where they made that tape of the world's biggest whopper, and the radio just went crazy and just played it and played it and
over
played
and
it.
over.
Yeah, and it got all the way from coming to Nashville somewhere or other, and they said this is the kind of talent we're looking for the hee-haw show that we just get on. You know?
And to put your daddy in a category with talent, because he didn't
No.
think he was talented,
No.
did he?
No.
He just thought he was a dude from
He just-
Forsyth
yeah,
County.
that's the dude.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
It was 4 boys and 2 girls.
So
I got-
your mama had her hands full with all
oh,
your
yeah,
kids.
Yeah. Sure
Wow.
How many are left now?
We're all still there.
Are you?
Yeah.
Good. Now, we want to go to some more footage of Hee Haw. BR549 was one of those things. That was your daddy's phone number.
I
at his
still
used
say
car
that.
lot.
Yeah.
And you don't know how many times people say, they'll say, what's your phone number? Well, BR549. What
I
you think my phone
know.
number is? That is a line that was never forgotten.
Yeah.
It was never forgotten. Did he come up with that, or did the writers come up with
You
that?
know, I don't know. I never did ask Daddy, but he had the he had that tag, a car tag with BR549 on it, and he brought it home and nailed it on a light pole there in the front yard, and we just let it hang there, and it just hang there, and it just rained on it, and it just rained on it,
Oh.
and it rusted, and it just rusted away. You look one time and a little more was gone, a little more, and finally it just left.
Oh, wow.
No telling how much I'd love to have that today, you know.
Right.
But you got something, it's forever, you know, you think sometimes.
Right.
But,
Now, do you get the RFD channel where you live? Okay, because that's how we watch Hee Haw every week, and we tape it. Now, I love the program we showed a while ago. Donna Fargo was on there. A lot of great entertainment. So your daddy was exposed to a lot of different people.
oh, yeah.
And like meeting Elvis and meeting Johnny and June, that is
Yeah.
just too awesome.
Yeah.
Now, was your mom nervous about meeting people like that?
You know, I don't think she was. She was Mama was kind of like me. She's always just shy, you know, but I don't think she was too bad. Like, I'm still shy, but I'm not too bad nervous sitting here with you, you know.
Right, right.
Of course, me and you talked a little bit the other night,
Right.
too, and that helped some. But the first time I come here, I never saw you, and I would. I
Well, you
wasn't too
did our
nervous.
florist last year when y'all ordered flowers for Sue's sister.
Yeah.
That's right. And because I'd known Sue for 30 some odd years, yeah, it made it easier. Right now, we're going to go to some more footage from Hee Haw. This hopefully will feature junior samples. He turned everybody toward Forsyth County. Everybody watched this, and everybody knew they could relate to that guy with the fish from Forsyth County,
Yeah.
Georgia, BR549. He was a household word for a long, long time. Now, how many years was he on this program?
Oh, 25 years, I reckon, as long as it was on, you know, but about 25 years probably.
Wow.
That wouldn't miss it much.
No. Well, right now, we're going to go to some more footage of Hee Haw, and this is compliments. Now, Emory, have you got a lot of the programs? Y'all have a lot of them?
No, I don't. Not near like you think I ought to have.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
'cause-
Well, in today's world, you can tape the old ones and put them on DVD, and you'll have a whole catalog of them. So that's pretty cool. Right now, we're going to go to some more Hee Haw footage. Compliments of the Samples family.
The ones I've seen made down here on Earth sure ain't much to talk about.
I don't care what you say, Junior. Not all married people are unhappy.
Of course not, just the men.
Here's Charlie Rich.
Sometimes at the end of the day, before I head home, I make a stop along the way, have a couple of drinks, and wait for the 5 o'clock rush to go by. And almost always there's a lady, oh, and it's so hard when she starts coming on, but I back it on up, turn it around, and take it on home. Sometimes I gotta go out of town, and I'll be gone for a couple of days. And this buddy of mine, he's a hound in the first degree. And almost always there's the ladies, oh, and it's so hard when you're out and alone, but I back it on up, turn it around, and take it on home. I take it on home. sticks by me, 'cause I believe she'd do the same if she was me. And I wouldn't know where to turn to if she was gone. So when I ain't working, I don't hang out, I take it on home. I back it on up, turn it around, and take it on home.
Coming up on part 2 of Hee-Haw, Archie Gamble and Tennessee Ernie. Junior pays a visit to Pauline and Pierre. Jim and John Hager harmonize. And Donna Fargo sings her latest hit.
Now here's Buck and Roy and picking and grinning.
Oh my gosh, this book was published in 1970. In today's economy, it has a line in it that is too perfect for today. When you get so broke that you like a dime of having a nickel, there ain't no groceries in the house, and the finance company is threatening to come and get your best hound dog. You put up for security on a loan with them, and you've signed a signature note at the bank, and they tell you they're coming out to repossess your signature. There ain't but one thing to do, and that's go get the jug out and get rich liquor. That is too funny. Angela,
Now, I can see he probably really said that,
he probably
right?
really said that, yeah. Now, you've got some birthdays. Let's
I
get these
do.
birthdays done.
We have Carla Fox, which was March 25th, 44 years old. Happy birthday, and she's on our Facebook.
That's right. We did that yesterday, too.
Taylor Elizabeth Trooney, 328, 5 years old.
Happy
Beautiful
birthday.
name.
Yes.
Jackie Bulls, 327, happy birthday. Courtney Pierce, she attends Fannin High School, and this is from Nana. Happy birthday, 17 years old. Evelyn Townsend, 80 years young, from Hazel Townsend and Sharon Townsend on 326. Happy birthday. WT and Nell Pittman, anniversary, 62 years
62
on
years.
326. That is
Amazing.
wonderful. And then we have Cynthia. We can't decide if this is Betrot. We don't want to just really butcher your name, but it's Votro.
Votro.
Thank you. March
There you
26th.
go.
Cynthia, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Put these in the bucket. And I will tell you, we give away a cake every week. And this week, the cake is from Walmart here at East LJ. It is a quarter sheet cake. And we're going to draw for that in just a little bit. It's been fun having you here today. I know folks really enjoy. You're a lot like your dad.
Yeah.
You're a lot like your dad.
Well, good.
Do you look around sometimes and do things and you think, Lord, that looks just like my daddy? Do you occasionally think, I am my daddy's son?
No,
You
I don't guess
Because I look at you and I think, Lord, he's just like his daddy.
Well, there's a pillow that Mama gave me years ago, and it says, mirror, mirror on the wall, I have become my mother after all. And maybe you say that about your daddy sometimes, you know.
Well, next time we hope to share the It's Your Life story with your dad. I know it was an emotional thing, and I know it was very, very special to you. And we have to say that the person who was your dad, who brought your dad on, was Gaylord Productions, and it was Joe Pepitone. And that's a name that is known by a lot of people in television.
Yeah.
Your daddy was very fortunate, and they heard the radio interview where he talked about the fish. We played that last week, and it was just funny. It was just funny, and it landed him the job of a lifetime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The job of a lifetime. So you never know where you're going to be, when your time is going to come.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a great opportunity for him.
That's what I told Sue. I mean, here I am sitting here with you.
Yeah.
All Daddy was doing is sitting on the porch.
Right.
And they come and made a tape of his fish story, you know, and now they've seen me. I mean, where'll I be next?
That's right.
I may
Now,
be
as
in Nashville tomorrow.
As funny as your daddy was to the world, was he that funny to you and your brothers and sisters?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, do your siblings and all y'all have a good sense of humor? Did you get that from your daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've even got a son or two that's just tickle you. You know?
Because I can't
They'll tickle you
imagine,
talking to 'em.
the one time I did meet Junior when I was, down there with Lamar, he was funny that day. And I can't imagine him being like that all the time. You'd just be hurting from laughing.
he
That
did.
would be such a great person to have around.
He had real bad health the last several years of his life, and if you got bad health, you know what I'm talking about. You
Right.
don't feel good. You
Right.
don't feel like laughing yourself, and you don't feel like
Yeah.
making nobody else laugh. But when he felt good, you couldn't help him laughing around him. He's just a funny person.
Well, thank you very much for bringing that hee-haw footage. We're going to take a break, and today is going to be, we're going to end with hee-haw in just a little bit. But I want to take just a break for a second, because we're going to bring Nick back on. We're going to bring another chair and bring him on. We're going to talk a little bit about how unlikely it is for media to pick up on somebody like the Samples family. So right now we're just going to go to the weather for just a second so we can run Nick back over here. Okay, Nick, we brought you back. I want to ask you, how cool would it be to find raw talent like Emory Samples, like Junior Samples, and be the media guy who brings him on board? Man, you'd get a feather in your cap.
I tell you, I was just talking to your wife over here on the side stage about Towns County and Young Harris. I actually use hee-haw in my introduction to media lecture. I talk about the history of media. And I actually talk for a couple of days about how we went from being just information to getting to the entertainment business, and about shows like hee-haw that 20, 25 years of generations following these television shows. I could tell you, I could see quite a bit of my students and faculty, and probably the residents of Town County, focusing on homegrown talent. I mean, it's something that I think we take very seriously, is that we're an Appalachian college in northern Georgia, and it's a big part of our identity. So I'm glad to meet you personally. This is unexpected, to say the least. And you're right, it's a pretty big haul to talk about Junior Samples on the air like this. It's something big.
And it would be too cool to do his life story if if we bring the This Is Your Life footage back, and we've got the hee-haw footage, and to do an hour program.
Sure.
Of just how cool it is to have never been expected to be in the media. I can guarantee you, when your daddy was 20 years old, he never thought he'd be on television.
That's
never.
right.
Never. Now, when you came on the first time, you were a little tiny bit nervous, but you did great. And I got a lot of positive feedback from folks who said, man, he is just like his dad. So why not encourage you to now do something and go out and bring back your dad's memories? Share this information and let people see that the apple didn't fall far from the tree, because you're a whole lot like your daddy. A whole lot. Now, can we show these photos? This is your dad's parents and your mom's parents, right? And who are the Samples?
Buck and Old Esther Samples.
Okay.
And you can tell that's them in the overalls.
Yeah. And then Roy and Annie Bolton.
Okay. That's your mom's
my mom's
family.
family.
Okay. Can you get it in? Can you? There you go. There you go. Now, that's your grandparents. Did they live to see your dad succeed?
My grandpa Samples didn't. He died several years ago when Sue was pregnant with our first son.
Okay.
But the rest of them did. All
Did
the rest
they?
of them did, yeah.
What did they think about Junior Samples ending up on national TV?
They, like everybody else, I guess, just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Just glad. Most people just glad to see him and glad to see him get to tell his stories and tickle people. And I thought just now, Jimmy Carter, when he was a governor, I believe he was, could have been a president, I believe he was a governor, he wrote Daddy a letter and sent him a huge picture and a big old thing. I wished I'd have brought, it's bigger than this, a big old picture he made, and said, thanking him, and this will make you cry too, said, you brought millions of laughs to millions of people.
Oh, yeah.
From the governor, you know, so that was, we was real proud of that.
Right.
Get some stuff like that.
That
There's
is
a
too
genuine
cool.
feel, too, to having somebody who, like you mentioned, was not born to be a media personality, just a gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a guy from Georgia. And there's a realism to that. And I think you guys mentioned it earlier, how we sort of lost track of some of the, we have a lot of reality television now. We have these constructed realities of people who don't actually exist.
No.
The shock jocks who don't even really behave that way.
No.
And here you have a gentleman who's just, this is
Himself.
me.
Yeah.
I'm entertaining. Turns out I'm just one of you. And people respond to that, and I think they still do. And you talked about making friends in the church and people seeing you. And I talked to my students about this. And one of the most important things about going into the media is the genuine factor of it, is believing that person. Whether you agree with them or not
Right.
is almost secondary to, do I feel a connection with them? Do I have that, what I call, again, that parasocial interaction? Can I have a cup of coffee with this person?
Right,
And I'm pretty sure in this case, a lot of folks felt that way.
That's right. Well, Friday is over. Dadgummit, Friday is over. It was a fast, good day. We drew Evelyn Townsend, 80 years old. Happy birthday. She wins the cake from here at Walmart. So there you go. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you
Emory,
for
thank
having
you
us.
so much for coming from Forsyth County, and Nick for coming down from Young Harris. We encourage you to check out Young Harris College. From North Georgia Now Today, I'm Cherie Martin.
I'm Piper Elizabeth, and we don't like to say goodbye, so we'll say see you later.
She's changed her name on me. You know, I thought Angela was pretty good.
I've been using this same name now for weeks. Y'all catch on.
We'll be here, and you be here too, only on ETC3, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 10 a.m., 6 to 7:30 p.m., and 1 to 2:30 for you late nighters. You be here, and we'll be here too, only on ETC3. Doctor, here I come.
Welcome to Hee Haw Laughs Volume 1, featuring Archie Campbell, Gordy Tapp, Janine Riley, Grandpa Jones, Lulu Roman, Junior Sample, String Bean, Kathy Baker, Vanilla Hutton, and Roy Clark.
Way down yonder in the cornfield.
Hey, Junior, I see by the papers that up in New York there's a man gets hit by a car every 30 minutes. Lord, I bet he's getting tired of that by now.
Cherie, do you know what happened to me yesterday when I was picking cotton down in the holler? Well, some dirty rascal sneaked up from behind me and kissed me.
Oh, really? Well, who was it?
Well, I don't rightly know.
You don't know? But it was broad daylight, wasn't it?
Well, yes, but I always close my eyes when I'm being kissed.
She has a head like a doorknob. Any man can turn it. You know, they say he's 94. Never looked at a girl in his life, never smoked, took a drink, or gambled. Beats me why he wanted to live so long. I hate my mother-in-law.
Well, if it wasn't for your mother-in-law, you wouldn't have your wife.
That's another reason I hate her.
I'm gonna divorce my husband.
Now, remember, you took him for better or worse.
Yeah, but he's worse than I took him for.
We started to find a lady scarecrow. Why'd even get married to get out of here?
Grandpa, you can't be serious. You mean to tell me you're going to marry an 18-year-old girl? But do you realize that could be fatal?
Well, if she dies, she dies.
Seems to me the only reason people in this world can't get along is they don't like each other.
What does a Grecian earn?
I don't know. That depends on what he does.
Roy, what letter in the alphabet comes after A?
All of them do. I bet you think I spent all